It was a quiet, uneventful night in the heart of the city. My shift as a cab driver was nearing its end, and all I could think about was going home. The streets were empty, cloaked in a heavy, unsettling fog. But little did I know, the night was far from over. As I turned onto one last street, I saw her, a woman, standing under a flickering streetlight. She was dressed in an old-fashioned coat, her hair damp from the fog. I pulled over, and she slid into the back seat without a word. "Where to?" I asked, my voice breaking the heavy silence. She gave me an address I didn't recognize but seemed certain about. As I started driving, her gaze pierced the rearview mirror. She asked, "You've been driving these streets a long time, haven't you? Do you ever feel like someone's watching you?" Her voice was soft but sent a chill down my spine. She began to talk about my life, her words unnervingly specific. She mentioned my favorite diner, my usual route, even my daughter's name. I felt the hairs on my neck rise. "How do you know all this?" I demanded. She just smiled, a knowing, eerie smile. The city began to transform. The familiar streets seemed foreign, roads I'd never seen before, buildings that didn't belong. The fog thickened, swallowing the headlights. The silence was broken only by her whisper, "You shouldn't have picked me up." I pulled over, unable to take it any longer. "Who are you?" I shouted, my voice trembling. She leaned forward, her face now fully visible. Her eyes were hollow, dark as the void. "I'm here to remind you of your debt," she said. Memories I had buried long ago rushed back, a hit-and-run incident from years past, a moment of recklessness that ended a life. The cab stopped, but we were no longer in the city. We were at the edge of a dark forest, the trees twisting like skeletal hands toward the sky. She stepped out and turned to me one last time. "You can't run from your fate," she whispered. And then, she vanished. I was found hours later, unconscious in the driver's seat on an empty street. The cab's meter read 0, and there was no sign of her. I've never driven at night again, but every so often, I hear her voice in my dreams. "You can't run from your fate." Do you believe in fate, or was it something else that night? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and remember, some passengers are best left behind.